Okay, this is a teaching for women, and it's mainly a teaching for women that think you do not have to keep the 10 Commandments to enter the kingdom. So, if you are going to be a part of Israel, you have to keep the 10 Commandments. Because while the Messiah came and shed his blood for you, he shed that blood to be your sacrifice for sins, so that you could come in and take hold of the covenant. That's the heart of the gospel, is that holy covenant was refreshed and remembered by Yeshua the Messiah. Luke 1:72 says, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. Deuteronomy 4:13, and he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments, and wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. The 10 commandments are a binding perpetual covenant, meaning it is forever. Okay? And everyone wants to say we're in the new covenant. We're not in the new covenant. We can't be in the new covenant because in the new covenant, we will not have to teach our neighbor anymore to know Jehovah. And everyone will be keeping the 10 commandments. They'll be written on our hearts. All will know him from the least to the greatest. That's for another teaching. But and there's where a lot of people trip up. They cannot get that. They cannot understand that. They want to say we're in the new covenant now. Okay, so even if we were in the new covenant, there's nothing that says in that covenant we don't have to keep the 10 commandments. Because in the new covenant, he's going to write his laws on our hearts and put them in our minds so that we will obey him. We won't ever have to be thinking about it or worried about it or teaching other people to do it. Everyone will just be doing it. Everyone will just be it will be so much a part of us that we will be obeying him without anybody having to teach anybody to do it. Right now, we're not there. We're having to teach other people to keep the 10 commandments and to obey Jehovah. So we are not in the new covenant. But so in Deuteronomy, he says he commanded you, he declared unto you his covenant. This was the covenant that was made at Horeb. Okay. And in Isaiah 56, he's going to give to those who take hold of his covenant. Don't call yourself a dry tree. You can't say that you've been utterly separated from his people. Don't call yourself a dry tree. There is one family, one people, and that's Israel. And Gentiles, the only way they can come in, you can come through the blood. You come through the blood, but you have to take a hold of the covenant. He says he's going to give a name and a place better than sons and daughters to those strangers who come in and take hold of his covenant and keep the Sabbath from polluting it. Isaiah 56, thus saith the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keep his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of a stranger that hath joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith the Lord to the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant, even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of sons and of daughters. And I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him, and to love the name of the Lord, and to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar, for mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. So who's he going to give a name and a place better than sons and daughters to? To the strangers, the sons and daughters of strangers who come in, take hold of his covenant, and keep the Sabbath from polluting it. So this about, we don't have to keep the Sabbath, that's lies that have been told to you through the Christian church, because if you don't keep the Sabbath, you are not his. If you do not keep his commandments, you do not know him. So you have to come in and take hold of his covenant. The blood of the Messiah opens the way for you. Through his blood, that makes the gate for you to come in. That makes a way, the door. He's the door. He's the way. He's the door. You can't come without his blood. But you don't stop when you don't come in and do nothing. You don't come in and say, I don't have to obey him. I don't have to keep his commandments. I thought of an example today, and this is the best way. That I'm bad with examples, but this is and I say that all the time, but this is the best way that I can think of to put it. Suppose you have a neighbor, and he invites you to come and be a part of his family. He says, come over and be a part of my family. Come and live with me. Live in my house. Be a part of my family. You can do that if you come into my house and obey my rules and eat at my table. If you will come in and do that, I will consider you part of my family, and I will leave you an inheritance better than my own sons and daughters. And suppose there's a fence up and a gate leading to this man's house, and you go to the gate and you cannot get in. But the man opens the gate to let you in, or he sends his son to open the gate to let you in. And his son opens that gate to let you in so that you can come into his garden and into his house. And you go in through the gate, but you don't obey him. You don't keep the rules of his house. You don't eat at his table. You do your own thing. You go your own way. And then when the man dies, you wonder why he left all his money to his children and left you nothing. That's the best analogy I thought of today. That's exactly what it is. If you do not come in and obey Jehovah, obey his 10 commandments, that's his holy covenant that the Messiah came to refresh, to remember, to preach his holy covenant to you. If you do not take hold of that covenant, you are not his. You will not be a part of Israel, and you will not have the inheritance. You will not be in the land to inherit the land, because there are no Gentile gates into the kingdom. There are only 12 gates, and it's for the 12 tribes of the house of Israel and Judah. There are 12 gates. None of them say Gentile gate. None of them say stranger or dry tree. None of them say Christian gate. They are all for Israel. And you have to come and be a part of Israel if you are going to enter that kingdom. And the blood of the Messiah opens the door for you to come in and do that. The wall of partition has been torn down. You come in and you take hold of the covenant and you obey Jehovah and you do the things that please him, and then he will give you a place better than sons and daughters in his kingdom. But if you don't do that, you will have no inheritance. You will stand there and say, Lord, Lord, did we not do many things, wonderful things in your name? Did we not cast out demons? And he will say, depart from me. I never knew you. Because only those that do the will of the Father are going to enter the kingdom.